Hey guys, this is Rick coming at you with Weed to No Basis, the podcast for all things cannabis business related. Are you an entrepreneur? Have something you wanted to create, something you wanted to bring to life in the cannabis industry? Maybe you've always wanted to partake in one of the biggest industries in modern day history. This is the podcast to listen to. Hey guys, this is Rick and we're back, Weed to No Basis. This is episode 3. So we're on a roll here, guys, and true to form, we're gonna be short, sweet, to the point. And as always, if you have any other questions, you can go to weedtonobasis.com. So remember, we're calling it Weed to No Basis because at this point, you either realize, I think I wanna play in the green sandbox. I'm pretty certain I wanna dip my toe in there and hop in and start something. Or you're at the point where it's like, this is just a pretty cool podcast and I'm gonna maybe tune in. If you're on the first side of the fence, what we're going to talk about today is how to find your niche in the industry. And that's super important. But let me tell you, I'm going to break it down to you like I promised you in a super simple way. So how do you find your niche? Because if you market to everybody, you market to nobody. So maybe at this point in time, you've decided, I do want to get into the industry. I want to do something. There's some relevance here. I'm really connecting with this Rick guy, whatever that is. He's got a cool t-shirt on. Here's the simplest way to think about your niche or what it is you're going to do, or let's call it the business you're going to be in. Because a lot of folks, guys, and this is a generalization, again, to recap, when they think of cannabis in the industry, they think about growing or selling. And remember, it's a vast industry. So if you listen to the last episode, you should have went to Barnes & Noble. You should have went and taken the advice. And that way you're thinking, okay, it is vast, just like Rick said it is. I'm going to tell you to not veer too far away from what you already know. Here's what that means. It's easier than ever to get into the industry. Kid you not, guys. I could literally, if any one of you, if we were to sit down for a 24-hour period, you could have a business launched. Kid you not. And you could start churning revenue and have a profitable business super quick. But that's not what this is about. This is about serving others, about serving your shareholders, your family, and your kids, or yourself, guys. Nothing wrong with that, and making an impact. So think about this. Here's a simple question to think about. When you're trying to figure out where you want to plant your flag in the industry, what do people come and ask you for the most? Do they come for advice? Do they come for self-help? Do they come because you have a certain expertise in something? Think about that. Maybe you're currently an accountant. I don't mean do they come to you for accounting. Maybe you're also happen to be a curator of fine whiskey. You have a great nose. Think about that. In other words, I'm asking you to think about the talents you already possess and how can you parlay that into the industry. So let me use myself as a real example, guys. I'm a registered nurse, like I shared with you guys. I haven't practiced in a while, but what that means isn't that I'm a really cool caregiver. What that means is that I have basically served folks through healthcare hands-on for a long time. It's kind of something I'm good at, something I like to do. So I thought, how can I really parlay my healthcare experience into the industry? So healthcare may be a logical entrance for you guys. Maybe it's as a nurse, as a clinician, you decide, or a physician or a physical therapist, whatever it is, maybe you decide you want to get into the education part of cannabis. There's a lack of education right now, guys. There is a huge opportunity, for instance, in folks who want to learn more about, say, CBD 101. Education is huge, guys. There's a business opportunity there. Think about that. Maybe you're already in business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. So one of the things that I did, or that we have done, is we have launched accelerator programs. And what those are tactical training, 3 to 4 month program where one is taught business 101. So since we had done that in the past, we simply parlayed that experience into cannabis. And that was really the genesis of Green Seed Cannabis Co. It was simply a business 101 training program for cannabis entrepreneurs. You see what I'm saying, guys? Sometimes you just tap into something you already know really well or that you're passionate about, and you figure out, how can I wrap a business around it? Now, if you happen to be a horticulturist, then obviously being a grower or agriculture is a logical fit for you if you're passionate about it. But that leads us to 3 things to really think about, guys. Passion isn't its only ingredient. So there's 3 things that you absolutely have to have. Is yes, you got to be passionate. I'm passionate about donuts, but I will never open up a donut shop. I'm being serious. I love donuts, but I do not want to be in the donut business. And that's a mistake you know what? I'm going to be real honest. That's a mistake I made a long time ago. I was passionate about fitness, so I opened up some fitness centers, and Soon I realized my passion turned into a job. Think about that, guys. But maybe you're passionate about whatever your passion is, those 3 items. Let me get back to that. Is you have to have an absolute passion, a burning desire to do what it is you want to do. Second thing is, can you make money at it? Can you make money at it? So we are talking about for-profit businesses in the cannabis space, okay, specifically. So if you're a nonprofit, this doesn't apply to you, but passion, can you make money at it? The third thing, guys, really super important, is can you be best in the world at it? Think about that. You can't have one of the 3 or 2 of the 3. You've got to have 3 of the 3. Because when you go into a business believing you can be best in the world, you're a force. When you go into a business believing you're best in the world and you're passionate, you become an unstoppable force. When you go into a business in the cannabis industry and you have passion and you can be best in the world and you can make money or turn a profit, you become a force to be reckoned with. So think about those things, guys. Maybe you want to start a cannabis-infused donut company. Now that's an idea. I think we just have an idea right here, right now. Seriously, guys. Yeah. Chris is right off screen saying we're going to get donuts right now. But seriously, guys, finding your niche, don't overthink it. Think about what you already know, like, and love. Think about something you can make money at. Think about something you can be best in the world at, and then don't deviate too far. Maybe you like to tinker with things. Maybe you're going to develop the latest, coolest iPhone cover app thing for the cannabis industry. Don't overthink it, guys. Keep it simple. So let me tease that out just a little bit more for you guys, just so you can, it feels less like theory and more about, now let me go out and do something. So now that I've kind of teased that out for you, those 3 items, I want you to think about, again, going back to the beginning, what are your strengths? What are your strengths? And what is the thing you want to create? Remember, don't ever forget, because people likely email you, call you, text you, and they ask for some sort of advice or direction or guidance on something specific. So when you think about those 3 things, that triangle, if you will, think about then, what are your strengths? And don't be shy about it. Like, seriously, guys, if you want to be successful, you have to have an element of boldness to you. You do. You got to have an element of, there's a fine line, but you have to own it. You have to show up as your best version of yourself. So what are your strengths? And don't be shy. What are the things people ask you about? And then what you do then is you clarify what your business idea could be. So I like to use my whiteboard. Like, seriously, whenever I'm kind of in a stuck mode, I'm trying to figure out what to do next, I'll put those 3 points. What can you be best in the world at? What are you passionate about? Can you make money? And then start to add in there, off to the side, what are your strengths? What do people come to you for? What do they ask you more about? Is it advice? Is it guidance? Maybe you're really good with your hands. You like to fix things. So then put that off to the side. And then start to really dissect that, and you'll start to find clarity. Remember I told you last episode to go to Barnes & Noble? So you might have 20 to 30 ideas about a cannabis business. Maybe it's building some sort of new software or equipment or technology or marketing platform or app, whatever that is. Put all those things down on the whiteboard. And as you're writing those out, you're going to start to see logical connections. Make sense? So what are your strengths? What can you be best in the world at? How can you follow your passion, and how can you make money at it? Here's what I mean, guys, is as you start to write these things out, and I literally mean write them out. Don't sit down and think about them in your head, because you'll forget and it'll become a jumble. Is literally write them out. Like, I keep this notepad in front of me all the time. I keep the whiteboard here behind me all the time. And if you have neither, get a piece of paper out. But guys, put those things on a piece of paper, on a whiteboard. Put them somewhere where you can follow along. Things are going to start jumping out. They're going to be popping. You're going to start to see things in a different way. And no, I'm not getting woo-woo. I'm getting like real. This is the truth, guys. When you write these things out, you start to see a picture. Okay, and again, think about the things you want to do. You may not be clear on the details. Okay, and that's okay. You may not be clear on the details, guys, but you're going to start to identify the type of activity that you want to be doing. Make sense? You may not have all the details right at this moment, but you're going to start to get clear on the type of things that you're going to want to be doing. Okay? I promise you that happens, but you gotta do the work. You gotta write these things down. So now think about this. As these tease out, this may be a series of hours, days, or even weeks. This may be a long time, guys. Don't rush this process. So now write down your business idea. Maybe you do decide, you know what, I want to launch a CBD company. I want to launch my own product line that is going to help overworked teachers cope better with the stresses of being a teacher in modern day America, whatever that is. Of course, I'm just throwing things out on the proverbial whiteboard. Maybe you decide you want to start an app that helps entrepreneurs find the best strain for relieving stress. I'm giving you, of course, just being a little facetious, guys, but write down your idea. Maybe it's an app. Maybe it's a book. Maybe you want to write something. Maybe you do want to move to California and grow. Write down your business idea, guys. And if you're still struggling at this point, then call a timeout, go back, look at your whiteboard, sit down, and just let it be for a minute. I'm serious, guys. Don't rush this. This could be the opportunity that changes your life and the life of your shareholders. Now, this is the most important part. And this is the part that nobody talks about. This is the part that people shy away from because, oh, we're too altruistic and we just want to help the world. How much money do you want to make? Nobody asks that question, and I think it's a travesty. People shy away from it because the word greed comes in, but the fact is, guys, you probably have a mortgage to pay. You might have kids who you want to send to a good college. You might want to take your husband or your wife to a nice dinner for their birthday, and you know what that requires? It requires money. So as you've done these things, you have your whiteboard, you've kind of fleshed through some ideas, you have a concept of maybe what you want to launch. I really want you to do this. How much money do you want to make? Guys, and don't be shy. If you want to be the next green rush billionaire, then say it. If you want to make just enough to get you through to pay for your car or whatever it is, then say it, state it. But put that in the form of a number, like literally. And I'm a big fan of when I ask people this, guys, how much money do you want to make? People say, oh, it's not about the money, Rick. And I'm like, bullshit. Don't tell me that. It is about the money, but not in a selfish way, guys. It's about what the money is going to do for you and for the greater good. So don't ever be afraid to talk about revenues, your finances, and how much money you're going to make, because then why are you doing it? If it's truly for altruistic reasons because you want to help the greater good, then guys, no, I'm not making fun of anybody. Then join the Peace Corps. I'm serious. Join Teachers Across America. Become a nun or a priest. Do something like that where it's truly purely altruistic, where you just help the greater good. But we're talking about building a sustainable, ethical, responsible cannabis business that's for profit. How much money do you want to make? Consider what it takes today to live, honestly. Only you know that. You know that. Maybe it takes you a couple grand a month to live. Maybe your expenses are 20 grand. Figure out what it is you want to make. How much do you want your business to earn? Because once you know that number, if you call it the Everest, we can deconstruct the plan. So guys, I don't want to get too teachy here, if you will, but the fact is nobody talks about money. Everybody reads about it and we see all the money that's flooding into it. And maybe on some levels we said, oh, big corporations, this and that. But I'm like, screw that. Be the big corporation. Start your business. Do the thing. Jump into the green sandbox. Get in there today, guys, and do the things I just told you about, because in the further episodes, we're going to be building on that and having a lot more fun. Okay, so as a quick recap, guys, of what we just talked about, high level, the 3 things you must have to find your niche. Find what you're going to do in the cannabis industry. Thing number 1, you got to be passionate about it. You got to have a burning desire you just got to do it. The way I love donuts, you got to be passionate about that thing. Thing number 2, can you make money at it? Guys, we're talking about for-profit businesses in the fastest growing industry in the world. Can you make money at it? Third thing is, can you be best in the world at it? You have to believe that here and here. Are you passionate? Can you make money? Can you be best in the world at it? Those 3 things, not 1 or 2. You got to have all 3 to win. Thanks, guys. This is Rick. This is episode 3 of Weed to Know Basis, finding your passion, finding your niche in the fast growth cannabis industry. Until next time, peace.